It's Monday morning. Let's get this week started. Aaron continued to push forward on our 4th Street building by removing the safe door. It's extremely heavy, so we had to use a come-along to actually get the door off of the safe. Tonight, I have a talk at the local college about entrepreneurship and my entrepreneurship story. There's really a couple ways to write a talk. So you have topical talks, which is like 5 ways to launch a website, or storyline talk, which is sort of a story, and hopefully you're able to weave in lessons in the story. So you have to tell your story, but be weaving in things they can take back with them that are not necessarily about you, but maybe nuggets of wisdom that they can later apply as budding entrepreneurs. So here we go. We're writing the talk titled Clueless and Relentless, the Alan Branch story. Today and some of even next week, I'm going to be working on the website for the brewery. There's sort of a get it done kind of mentality with entrepreneurs, and especially since I can write HTML, my first thought is like, ooh, I'm going to write a custom site. The reality is I just need to get something out there. It just needs to be the first iteration of a website for the brewery. For this particular project, I'm using Bootstrap, which is it's a CSS and HTML JavaScript framework. It's got a bunch of pre-written stuff for me and themes and stuff that I can quickly get a website out. It's about quickly getting something done and iterating on it later. It's not about launching the most perfect website that I could possibly create. That's not the best use of my time. Back to work. This week I also worked on the investor prospectus for the brewery. So we're going to try to raise a round of funding from friends and family for the brewery. And so I'm writing out what the investor prospectus is. It's sort of like a business plan. I actually hired a friend of mine named Austin Church, who's this really creative guy who does copywriting and web design. I paid Austin to look through this document as really a sanity check for me. Does this make sense? Could I explain this better? Does there need to be more information here or less information? It was less about the grammar of the document, but really the content, and does it make sense to someone who's unfamiliar with this project? I think spending money to make sure you're explaining things correctly is very important. One thing I noticed this week is we have a gap in production happening over the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's too late now for me to get leads via blog posts or traveling or things like that. So I need to be doing outbound sales immediately to fill that production gap. Eric and I have been reaching out to past customers of Less Films, and we're just reaching out, saying hi to them again, looking through their website. Are they still using our video? Why aren't they if they aren't? And so we're reaching out to those couple hundred clients. We've already got leads in the pipe now. And so it's good to look forward as an entrepreneur, looking for gaps and hiccups in your cash flow, trying to predict them. When you have a gap in your cash flow happening in the next 2 weeks, it's hard to make that up. So you're always looking forward as an entrepreneur into the future. Monday we had monsoons from Hurricane Gordon, and the rest of the week I was putting out fires in the businesses. I did push a few things forward. I sent a few dozen emails to possible buyers of our video series, Brewing a Business. So we'll see how those emails were received in the coming weeks. Keep pushing forward, on to next week.
Noise couldn't quite locate